What's going on, Orlando Magic fans, and Merry Christmas Eve. Jonathan here tonight on the Postgame Live presented by Thrivent, your Orlando Magic with the 110-106 win in Portland over the Trailblazers to close out the road trip. Wasn't the prettiest win by any means. Another second half collapse where the Magic looked like they're starting to run away with the game and then allow the Blazers to come back in this game, actually take the lead. Some big shots by Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones down the stretch, and some big defensive stops, especially that last block by Desmond Bane, helped the Magic get this victory. I'm going to be fully transparent with you all. I'm annoyed at this win. I'm annoyed at the way that this team has been playing lately. And I'm tired. It has been a long week. It's been a long day. Obviously, Christmas Eve tomorrow. Christmas on Thursday. Might be a little bit of a shorter post-game live tonight. I'm not going to keep you all super long, but before we get to the chat, I want to talk a little bit about our good friend Marc.Abraham over at Thrivent. Marc.Abraham is a financial advisor. He's also a massive Orlando Magic fan, and at the end of the day, all he really wants to do is help Magic fans with their finances. He's a financial advisor with Thrivent, specializes in retirement planning, budgeting, saving, debt elimination, so much more. If you're looking to be wise with your money, want someone to help you out on that end, give Mark a call. His number is 407-366-4364. You can check out the website, email address in the show description and in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast. And then big shout out to Mark Thrivent for sponsoring the show. Mark was actually texting myself and Kevin during this one, just as annoyed as the rest of us. So I'm going to go through the chat here. Luis Rosario is asking early in the game, why is Penda taking so many threes? That's insane. Yeah, weird game from Penda, like almost like a irrational confidence type of game for Noah Penda. You know, obviously playing a lot of minutes. No Gogo Batadze. No Tristan Da Silva. Jonathan Isaac was questionable coming into this game. No Jalen, no Franz, no Mo. Depleted. Definitely missing a lot of guys there. But yeah, Penda, a lot of shot attempts in this game. We'll talk about this. LGF223 says, is this the best, worst Paolo game? We're going to talk a little bit about Paolo, kind of give my 2 cents on Paolo and kind of what's going on, some of the things that we're seeing. Was it a great Paolo game? By no stretch, was it? Was it terrible? I really didn't think so. Was he super passive? Yes. I guess let's just do it now, right? Like, people have been begging the entire time that he was out for him to come back and not disrupt like the offense. He certainly has not done that. Maybe to like a detrimental end where he's just not aggressive enough. But it's also very obvious that, like, for some reason, whatever is going on, he just doesn't seem to have it. It does look like the confidence is shaken a little bit right now. Can you blame him? The shot is not falling. But to his credit, I think at least offensively, he's been sticking with it last couple of games, trying to make the right play, especially in Golden State, like trying to get to the rim, trying to get shots to go down. They're just not falling. And tonight, I think he was like 4 of 8 from the floor, and was making the right play. Like, probably should have had a few more assists than he actually ended up with in this game. But overall, you need more from Paolo. One thing that I have seen, I do want to jump on the soapbox really, really quickly. It's something that we've seen at times over the last couple of years on social media, and I really hope that we can kill it once and for all, and I know that we won't. But comparing Paolo and Franz, saying this is this person's team, this is that person's team, this guy is better, that guy is better, it's idiotic. It's unproductive. There's nothing positive that can come from it. At the end of the day, it genuinely does not matter. Regardless what you think of the conversation, regardless what player is better, it really does not matter. We have both of those guys on this team, and for this team to reach anywhere near its ceiling, both of those guys need to be at their best. And if they're not, guess what, folks? We are in big trouble. So these guys are on social media. All of these players are. If they're not, they're probably lying, right? Like, they're definitely checking to see what people are saying about them. people want to complain all the time about like the Orlando Sentinel poll, back in the day, asking whether or not Shaq deserved a max contract, in which he's talked about like rubbed him the wrong way. What do you think the constant, like incessant complaining and back and forth on, Paolo and Franz on the internet does? Doesn't do anything productive. There's literally no point to. If you want to have those conversations, I would probably suggest having them like privately with your pals, like offline in a place where these guys can't see them, because again, they're both on our team. And what do you have to gain? Oh, look, I was right about these guys that are on my team. Like a lot of this generation, it feels like, are more so fans of players than they are teams. Both of these guys are on our team. It really shouldn't matter whatsoever. Okay. We're going to go back to Luis Rosario here. Super chat, very generous. Appreciate that. Says, finally, we closed out a game. Play the song. I have to be super honest. After a win like this, I don't really feel like playing the song. But you asked so kindly, and it's the rule, so we're going to go ahead and play the song. And we have another super chat from our good friend Janine. Says, missed so many of our recent games due to work, but caught this one. Take the win and go home. Play the song and Merry Christmas, Magic Manias. First of all, Janine, thank you so much for the generous super chat. And yeah, look, at the end of the day, a win is a win. We talked about the win against Utah. It wasn't pretty. Came down literally to the very last second. But as a win is a win. 3 months from now, we probably won't be complaining about the way that this one went. But the fact that it is becoming a trend of having, this wasn't a necessarily bad defensive game. There were bad defensive stretches and moments in it for sure. But getting off, like having, decent leads, double digit second half leads, and then all these games just coming down to the wire. It's very, very frustrating. Magic Man VJ89 says, all I want for Christmas is everyone healthy. Big W. Yes, it's a big win. They all count the same at the end of the day. Definitely need everybody healthy to get these guys back and just see what this team looks like fully healthy, because we have not seen that. I understand some people watch this game and they look at it through the lens of, oh, we're not whole, we're not healthy. Look how many guys we're down. And I do understand that to a certain extent. But when it's stuff like focus, effort, energy, making good decisions, like that stuff is not dependent upon your best players playing. Like I can deal with guys being out and like you just get out talented. Shout out to our guy Luke Sylvia, who famously coined that phrase. I can deal with like the other team just playing better. I can't just accept the other team like playing harder and like getting to loose balls and beating you to rebounds and things like that, and throwing the ball out of bounds and turning the ball over. Like Desmond Bane makes big plays down the stretch, but like has the turnover in the last minute of the game and ends up having to send was it Sharp to the free throw line with 38.9 seconds to go. And so it's just stuff like that it's frustrating, and it all comes from a place I know how good this team is. I know how good they can be. Okay, let's get to the chat. Let's get rolling here. Luis Rosario, how did P5 and Bane let Penda take the last shot of the quarter? Yeah, I think you're talking about the third quarter. Genuinely didn't really understand that here. There's some, I'm Jovi says Bane is a dog. Absolutely is. Had a good game, made some big plays in this one, helped you get a big win. E Nest says AB is him. AB is another guy that had a great game tonight. We'll certainly talk more about those guys when we get to the box score. There's some talking in the chat here, like a back and forth. It looked like talking about Paolo Banchero. Matthew Thomas 8221 says no, just tired of people not holding Paolo accountable. I do not see that. I do not see anyone not holding Paolo accountable. Now, I didn't go through your entire conversation here, and I don't mean to just like single you out, but this is something that I've seen quite a bit of people saying, oh, we're not holding Paolo accountable. nobody is acting like Paolo's playing great. Like, he's been back, from the injury. What is it, like 8-9 games now, whatever it is. Was starting to play a little bit better before the injury, but at no point this season has he looked like the guy from the beginning of last season, the final month of last season, or the playoff series against the Boston Celtics. And it's concerning. It absolutely is. At this current point in time, and just choosing to lean on the previous 3 years that we've seen of him. Something is going on. It's 100% concerning. It's frustrating. It's all of those things. But at the same time, like, a lot of people are talking like they've completely forgot the caliber of player this guy is, and that the overwhelming majority of his career that he's been, and I still think he's going to get back to that point. Clement Lachat 5414 says, a win is a win, though. It absolutely is. Be happy about every single win. But again, I just keep coming back to the point of, like, hey, there is a standard that the Magic have, and if they're not reaching that standard, they just need to play a little bit better here. Let's see. Going through here. Yeah, Jack 4, he says, what a wild ride. What a wild ride indeed. I'm getting tired of the wild rides. I think Kevin and I talked in the last pod that the last comfortable win that the Magic had where you weren't sweating it out in the fourth quarter was that win against Philadelphia a month ago. Kind of tired of the every night heart attacks, and we're here. It is 12:43 a.m. There's 157 of you here watching with us, which is insane. But we should not be having to stay up to 12:30, 1 o'clock, these West Coast games, watching this team sweat out wins against the Utah Jazz and the Portland Trailblazers, and then getting smoked against the Nuggets and the Warriors. It's a little bit unfortunate. Our guy Christian Pizarro says, guys stepped up when they needed to. Great way to start our Christmas Eve by playing the song. Yeah, guys stepped up. Wendell just been so steady, so solid all year. Anthony Black, J.I. had some good minutes. Tyus Jones, hey, everybody knows I've been the biggest critic out there of Tyus Jones this year. Was awesome tonight. Not only did he hit big shots, I'm thinking of that defensive possession that he had on Shaedon Sharpe in the fourth quarter, where he just would not let him by him. I'm not being hyperbolic. That might have been Tyus Jones's best defensive possession of the entire season, and just hit big shots. Definitely Tyus Jones' best game of the season here. David T says, Merry Christmas, y'all. Play the song. Absolutely. Another Merry Christmas to all the Magic Maniacs. Let's go Magic from Luis Rosario. Ines says, J.I. and Tyus showed up. Absolutely did. And we've got another couple of super chats here. One from fellow Postgame Live host Sam Melhuish. Says, honestly, over the last 20 games, Bane has been our best all-around player. Available, consistent, energetic, driven, fighting hard night in, night out. I don't see how anybody could argue that. I 100% agree with you, especially, available and consistent, and a little bit of a hothead. We can talk about the little dust up with Sissoko tonight. I genuinely thought after that foul that Desmond Bane was going to punch him. For 2.5 seconds, I really thought Desmond was just going to finally snap and punch that dude in the face. Really scary fall from Sissoko, early in the game. Glad that he was okay. And then, it was a hard foul. It's a flagrant foul. Whatever. You got your free throws, you get the ball back. It's play on. But yeah, it was. I don't want to say dirty, but it was definitely, they call it a flagrant. It is what it is. But yeah, Desmond's been great. Very generous super chat here from James Brown. He says, I swear they make me wonder, what do we really want? I remember when the Dwight was in the finals versus Kobe and showed no heart, and now it feels like our season. Now, it's, James Brown, it's perplexing, it's confusing, it's frustrating, it's disappointing, all of those things where, Jamal Mosley coached teams hang their hat on defense effort. And I know you don't have Jalen, I know you don't have Franz Wagner, but you're missing those guys' talent. And of course, Jalen's energy is completely unmatched. was it Alex Caruso maybe a couple of years ago was on a podcast talking about how like playing hard is a skill, because if it wasn't, then everybody would just do it. Like playing hard and bringing the type of energy that Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner to a certain extent, the energy that those guys bring like is a skill. But it's been frustrating, like just not seeing this team play with like a ton of urgency, other than when they blow a double-digit second half lead. To not see that level of urgency, to see the lack of focus with some of the like defensive mishaps and the turnovers, things of that nature. I'm there with you. It's been very frustrating. Dumps Woe, super generous super chat here. Really appreciate it. This team is so shaky, inconsistent in every imaginable category. Effort, results, health. Anyways, I'll still take the W. It's frustrating though. I mean, I think that just continues exactly what we were talking about, Dumps Woe. Really appreciate the super chat here. A few more chats, trying to get caught back up to where we were, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the box score and take a look at some of the games around the league. Duval says they're going to have to live without the two of them until they return. I think you're talking about Jalen and Franz, like 100%. They've got to find a way to like survive and play well without those guys. They're surviving, right? Like you go 2-2 on the road trip, but the fact that you're, what was the Utah? What did you win that game by? 1-2 possessions. Like you're a few possessions away from being 0-4 on this road trip. Like really insane. I mean, Desmond hits that layup to put you up 1 against Utah. That end up, is it 2-3 points away from being 0-4? I think it might be. My memory is fried today. I'm gonna mispronounce your name. Really apologize here. Zikoral says, don't forget to like. Much love to the 6-Man Show all the way from Israel. Hey, really appreciate that. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe. Liking the video here helps out the algorithm a ton. If you're not subscribed already, we're starting to get close to the point where we're like pushing for 7K subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys can like, comment, obviously all of you in the chat is awesome. Like and subscribe, as my good friend Bobby Skinner would say. Shout out to Giants Nation show. Let's see. Luong Steven, let's go 2-2 road trip. Absolutely needed that. Look, I can sit here and complain and be frustrated, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you go 2-2 on the road trip, and that's what we asked for at the beginning of it. Luis Rosario said, I live the Shaq Madness. People need to lay off of P5. He will be fine in due time. I think so. Like, it's funny how quickly people forget where this team was before Paolo Banchero got here. And unfortunately, as I have seen far too often in doing this and the great privilege that I've had, the apology is almost never, ever, ever even half as loud as the disrespect. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to switch up on Paolo as soon as he starts playing well again. No doubt in my mind at all. Jalen Lawson says, our top 11 offense is in spite of our scheme. It's built to stall. Off-ball movement is horrid. Sets are weak. If they aren't running, there is no plan B. A lot of times, I hate to say it, it does feel like that. I do think you're a little bit limited by some of the personnel that is out there right now. It does feel like there could be some more creativity. You see it. The things that other teams run, and you're just like, wow, look how they just got a wide open layup, and sometimes like we have seen like really good like out of timeout stuff. Like go back to the Utah game, that Desmond Bane game winner, beautiful, did a great job drawing it up. The whole team did a great job like executing it. But then you go back to like the end of regulation, and like Paolo takes that pull up 3, which I don't know if that was the designed look. In that, it was definitely to get Paolo at the ball at the top of the key and then kind of take a look at the matchup and decide what he wanted to do there. But it does feel like, there could be a little bit more creativity at times in the offense. Another super chat from Jay Lawson. He says, not to mention they've schemed 5 out of the offense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is when it comes to Paolo. I don't know if it's just his own like hesitancy. You did see him like first of all, like Tumani Kamara is just like a really good wing defender, like has done a good job on Paolo the last couple of seasons when they've played. like Paolo was actively looking for the ball towards the end of the game. And I think, was it the Desmond Bane turnover possession? I don't quite remember. Like Tyus has the ball like towards the logo. Paolo is coming up from Tyus's left to get the ball. And I forget who, was it Sharp or was it Caleb Love was on Tyus. Just did a good job of kind of denying that side. And Kamara did a good job of denying Paolo the ball as well. And it ended up going to Bane. But like Paolo was actively like looking for the ball, down the stretch here. Evelyn with the super chat, thank you so much. Says, with AB improving, can we afford his extension? The more that I've sat and thought about like the AB stuff, the way that guys just really aren't moving from team to team in free agency, it kind of, unfortunately for AB, and I hate to say it, I wish that the financial situation was a little bit different. We could just pay everyone what they deserve, like right off the rip. With AB, like you might have to look at letting him go to restricted free agency. I hate to say that, but you just don't really have like the cap space to like. You have to see him sustain this, and you have to see him like continuing like to improve if you're gonna like devote a lot of dollars to him. Maybe restricted free agency isn't the answer, but we're just at the point where you just can't really pay guys until you absolutely have to at this point. All right, let's go ahead. We are going to jump over to the box score here. Nope, that did not work. That's okay. Let me go ahead and, why is this not pulling up my Chrome? 1 second here. We're almost there. Screen share, it's not pulling up my Chrome. Okay, there we go. All right, I think you all can see that now. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Taking a look at the box score, the Magic shoot 43% from the floor, 45% from three. Man, 45% from three, you hit 15 threes, only score 110 points, and you end up winning this game by 4. Desmond Bane leads all scorers for the Magic, 23 points, 6 of 15, 4 of 7 from deep, 7 of 7 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks, including that massive block at the end. So 6 stocks from Desmond Bane, 4 turnovers. Paolo Banchero, 12 points, 4 of 8, 0 for 0. Didn't take a 3 in this one, 4 of 4 at the free throw line. All of those coming in the first half. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. Like, you look at the numbers, it's like it's not a bad, like, efficiency is fine, but you need more aggression. You need more opportunities. Like, you have to give him more bites at the apple, or he needs to take more bites at the apple, try to get himself out of this shooting slump, whatever it is. And again, I don't know if it's a scheme thing. It doesn't seem to be. Like, he just doesn't have the same level of aggression right now. And the Magic need him to get back to that. I believe that he's going to. But it doesn't feel great right now. Wendell, really good game. 14 points, 5 of 11, 1 for 4, 7 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a block. Good defense, just really solid Wendell Carter game. Anthony Black started the game really hot. Like the first 8 points of the game, the Magic went up 8-0, all from Anthony Black. 22 points. Cooled off though, 8 of 21 from the floor. 4 of 8 from deep, which means he went 4 of 13 on twos, if my math is correct there, if the math is mathing. 3 free throws, or 2 of 3 free throws, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Had some good ones. Tyus, man, props. 16.6 of 9, 4 of 6 from deep, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 0 turnovers, and 1 steal. J.I., season high 9 points. Season high 9 points is kind of crazy. 9 points, 3 of 5 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, a steal, and Noah Penda, 8 points, 3 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 6 from deep. Like, some people talked about that. It was just a little bit too much Noah Penda offensively, but to his credit, like, was trying to get things going for his team. Denny Avdia, really good, 25 points. Shaden Sharp at 22. Caleb Love, North Carolina Tar Heel legend, 17 points off the bench. He's playing right now on a two-way for Portland, and he was really good off the bench. Magic, 14 turnovers, force 17 turnovers for the Portland Trailblazers. Only 36 points in the paint tonight. You've gotta be better. Like 17-point lead again, which you dwindle. You allow them to come back. The only lead change, Portland came back, took the lead. Magic took the lead back and then ended up winning this game. But just seeing too many of these collapses, I don't know exactly what the issue is, what the disconnect. There's a lot of theories out there. Man, I don't know. Look, you went 2-2 on the road trip. I'm trying hard not to be super negative, but it is concerning. Let's go back to the full view here, and we'll go through some more chats here, and then we'll take a look at the scores around the league and the standings, and then we'll close it out here and wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Doc says, give a like, Magic fans, please. Yes, please do. Really appreciate that so much. Appreciate everything that you all are doing. Losanity says he played 36 minutes, 12 points. That's not Paolo Banchero. Yeah, he does not look like the same Paolo Banchero right now. I don't have an explanation to it. We've seen him, miss time and come back and kind of have slow starts. Like, was it his second season, slow start to the beginning of the year, and then has the game winner, funny enough, in Utah, and has the quote of like, slow start, so what? This is what I do. And then was great. Last year, obviously, like really good to start the season as the 50-point game goes out. Probably took him 15 to 20 games almost after that. Now he missed way more time, right? Like what did Paolo miss this time? Was it 9, 10 games? And now he's been back for, 8 or 9. So he was out way longer last time. But it did take him quite a bit of time to ramp back up, and then had an awesome March, awesome playoff run. It's tough, very, very tough. And Dev says Paolo least field goal attempts in the starting lineup. Yeah, I mean, look, when he was out, everybody's saying, hey, he has to come back and not disrupt the offense. He hasn't disrupted the offense, but maybe he does need to disrupt it a little bit. Like Sonic the Carlos, I mean, I made this point. Paolo played it smart. Kamara's a great defender. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, like Paolo, we all believe that this guy can be, perennial all-star, like all NBA, like max type of player, which is what we're paying him to do. And you can't let Toumani Camara stop you from being that guy. Barkley Sand says, I'll take a win. I will always take a win. We'll always take a win. And the thing about this season is, yes, the regular season wins are important. Like seeding is important. We'll take a look at the standings in just a moment here. But at the end of the day, like you're building towards hoping that you are a contender. And if you're not holding yourself to a very specific standard, saying regardless of the opponent, we need to play to this standard, you're not going to get to your ultimate goals. All right, let's jump back over here. We are going to go to the NBA standings, and let's go ahead and refresh ESPN. All right, 7-13, the Magic are 6th in the Eastern Conference, tied with the Philadelphia 76ers. You're a half game back of Toronto for the 4 seed. You're a game and a half back of the Boston Celtics. You're 3.5 games back of New York. So this is the crazy thing. For all the frustration, all the concern, all the complaining, all the arguing, right? All the things, and a lot of it, some of it, not all of it, but a good amount of it is like, based, right? Some of it, not so much. Like some of the conversations, again, I'm personally not a fan of. We can agree to disagree on that kind of stuff. But after all of this, you're 3.5 games back of the 2 seed, and you've been playing the last couple weeks without Franz Wagner. You've been playing without Jalen Suggs the last week. You go 2-2 on the road trip. Right now, the schedule starts to lighten up a lot starting on Friday against the Charlotte Hornets. So, is what it is. hopefully these guys can, figure some of this stuff out, get some guys healthy and really go on a roll here. So, it's been frustrating, but at the end of the day, like, you're still in a relatively good spot here when it's all said and done. Half game up on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Miami Heat 2-8 in their last 10. The Hawks also 2-8 in their last 10. We should really think we should start seeing some separation here for the Magic. I want to take a quick look at some scores around the league. Wizards, Hornets. Hornets got them in that one. Where's the one that I'm looking for? Yeah, there it is. Man, Spurs, Thunder, man. I'm not going to say the Spurs have their number or anything. Obviously, the last couple of times they've won. But they just seem to match up. And for as good of a start to the season the Thunder had, 26-4, like, the Spurs are right there. Pistons, like, just 2 games behind the Thunder. The Pistons are genuinely having, like, a really incredible season for them. But let's take a look. Nets beat the Sixers. Okay. Bulls beat the Hawks. Cavs smacked the Pelicans. Bucks beat the Pacers. Raptors beat up on the Miami Heat. The Mavericks beat the Nuggets. Timberwolves beat the Knicks. Appreciate that. Suns beat the Lakers. Grizzlies beat the Jazz. Pistons beat the Kings. And the Clippers beat the Rockets. What was it, like 14 NBA games on the docket this evening? Everybody's getting it out of their system before Christmas here. Okay, let's go ahead and take one last look at the chat here, and then we will close it out and wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Long Steven says, no need to be negative. We won an escape with no further injuries. Tonight, Paolo will ball out Friday versus the Hornets. Steven, yes. First of all, I appreciate your positive perspective here. Nobody got injured. But the thing is, I keep telling myself, all right, this is going to be the night for Paolo. This is going to be the night for Paolo. This is going to be the night for Paolo. There is a good theory tonight that, hey, like, he's playing in Portland right before Christmas. He's seeing, a lot of family and friends right before Christmas. Prime opportunity for him to have a breakout game. He did not. Now, that being said, yes, Friday is another prime opportunity for a Paolo Banchero breakout game. And it does feel like it's just going to take one of those games for Paolo Banchero. I just refuse to believe that the dude who's 23 years old, been playing basketball his entire life, all of a sudden just forgets how to play basketball. I just don't see that being a realistic possibility. So have to believe that things are about to flip. Kevin White, this is funny. If we play the Knicks again, we should sit all starters. All our main entries are versus the Knicks. Yeah. Paolo, Franz, all these guys, Jalen obviously has sustained, multiple injuries, against the Knicks as well, or has been dealing and playing through, injuries and all the times that we played the Knicks. But that's a pretty good point. Sonic the Carlos says, we're about to head into the best part of our schedule too. That is really exactly where we're at. Jalen Lawson says, I hate that we are 11th in offense because it gives the false pretense that it's all working, but it really isn't. In the playoffs, this will get completely shut down. We need more movement without the ball. So I understand where you're coming from a little bit, but remember last year we were like, 23rd in offense. You don't go from 23rd to 11th in offense without something working. Now, will this be limited? Yes. But the offense is so much improved. Like, we saw with the offense in the playoffs was and wasn't the problem, right? Like, Paolo played amazing. You just haven't really had, Franz had, a good playoff run this past season as well. You didn't have Mo Wagner. You didn't have Jalen Suggs in that playoff series. The Magic just have not had last year, outside of Franz and Paolo, role players who have really stepped up in a significant, consistent way in the playoffs. And in the Cleveland series the year before, outside of Paolo, no one showed up in any of the road games. So there is some truth to what you're saying. I'm not saying I completely disagree, but I do think there is a lot of carryover that can happen, especially if this team can defend the way that they're capable and force turnovers. You're still able to get out and transition that way. Now, are you able to get out and run like off of makes? No, but you need to be able to force turnovers. You need to be able to get stops for this team to be able to get out and run. Chef Adam says, where would this team be if we didn't get DB3 with KCP and Cole Anthony? This team would be bad right now. The way that everything looks, all things considered, without Franz, without Jalen, without Powell looking the way that we're accustomed to him looking. Yeah, without Desmond Bane, this team is in a very, very, very rough way. Ricarda81 says, I'm going to Kia against the Hornets. Hopefully see Mo's return. If right now, that's right. If anything can inject some energy and some life back into this team, it might be Mo Wagner coming back. Okay, we're going to close it with this one. Evelyn531 says we have the second easiest remaining schedule. There is a lot of solace that we should be able to get from that. Like, absolutely should be able to find a way to figure that out. And now, as we're getting ready to close this one out, I know that this last screen is going to say that the next game is incorrect. Please forgive me. This game finished up after midnight. Forgot to finish up this last screen for you. But just want to say a quick word. I know we're getting close to the end of the year here. Appreciate the love from everybody. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody being here. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you on Friday. Let's go Magic.